retract on the spindle, and you'll be able to work around the car effortlessly. And you'll be able to work around the car effortlessly. Christ. And welcome to WhiteDetails. This week, a white detail episode on the stunning Aston Martin V550 V8 Vantage Supercharged. It's a 1999 model. It's one of part of a collection of vehicles that have come in from overseas. The vehicle is but other than that, it's a full major paint correction, full interior. It's already very clean on the interior. The mileage, the kilometers on the clock low. I'll report back on that later. But without further ado, outside for the wash stage and get it inside, clay bar, blow and dry. On the ramp, start some polishing. Quick wash and quick wash later. Basically, we're moving on to the decontamination stage. The first stage being tar removal outside, not a great deal of. Now we're going on to the clay bar. The clay bar, as you know by now, is the removal of surface contaminants that are bonded to the vehicle's paintwork. Again, the vehicle's done 6,000 kilometers, so I'm expecting a very little pickup. But it's still something you have to do to ensure it's squeaky clean, removal of all the surface stuff before you go on to polish it. Look at my pink little nose. It was pretty nice weather, a good wind, you can see. I've certainly caught the sun. Vehicle washed dry, clayed, blown dry, wheels off. There is actually a second set of wheels, spare sets that got dropped off with the vehicle. They've been purchased in the United Kingdom and they're going back out to Europe when the vehicle is picked up. I've not really had a proper look over things yet. Clusters of overspray. Light buffer trails, abrasions, heavier buffer trails at the top. Colour match looks good. Sanding marks on the top corner here. That's quite a thick, heavy edge. It's going to be difficult to correct that. Perhaps with the hybrid is the safest, easiest option. And looking elsewhere, I say it's not terrible, but the marks you can see here, they do look pretty deep. They're not sort of swirls or marks that are going to lift straight away. So it's going to be a multi-stage correction. A few deeper ones dotted around. On the very edge of the arch here, if we get some focus back, good amount of marks on this inch. A few marks inside the finger recess. They'll be corrected and sorted inside of there. On the top of the boot lid. Random stray sort of marks. I don't know the vehicle's full history. I'm not sure if it's owned from new. Light clusters, difficult to pick up on the camera, but they'll be corrected. Patch of overspray here and here. Overspray. Overspray. Lots of flowing channels and crevices to navigate, certainly here up on the roof line. This rivet, you need to drop into there with a small pad, and actually on the edge of the A to D pillar, there's a lip here So another area to be careful of, not wanting to get the pad too close down on this edge for fear of striking the lip. See, some work has been done at the front end on the bumper, so perhaps, well, lots of abrasions here, so perhaps these are connected somehow to masking off or contact, lots in the bonnet, robbing the finish, and quite obvious there in the right light. Lower corner of the bumper, this section I believe has been painted, but we're left with lots of heavy overspray and mess there. There's actually a crack in the plastic as well, unfortunately. Some of the worst marks on the car on the near side front corner. Look, surface is just about catch a nail. I'm sure they can be lessened and improved. Up onto the roof, easier to see with the lights turned off. With some wiggly marks, holograms, buffer trails over the entire roof line. This should just be pure clarity, no movement, none of these wavy motion lines. And then there's lots of taping to be done as well, lots of rubbers, lots of window trim, edges we need to protect against. After a quick run around the car, nothing too drastic, nothing too scary, definitely a worthwhile thing booking it in for the major correction, especially the nature of sort of the heritage and the history of the vehicle and what it is, to get it as nice as possible, as safely as possible. A paint touch-up will be ordered for the vehicle. There are a couple of, well, chips in the front end, but this is known to the customer. The customer knows about this. On the edge of the bonnet, bit missing there on the edge of the door, just above my thumb. On the rear corner, little chip here, so this will be sourced. But for now, it's time for a cup of tea, a sandwich, and start some polish and pad combinations. Happy with the initial pad polish test combination. As I said, it's not a terrible paint finish, but for a one set cut, this left hand side of the roofline is looking sharp and it's looking much better. So with the bulk there done, obviously the sides, you can see here, it's a bit heavy still where it's not been properly broken down. The channels, the edges, and the front there and the back will be done with a 3-inch pad to get the correction true and tight, as well as the A-pillar down here, protecting this ledge. Because at this point I'm not completely happy with the cut down the bottom of the channel on the A-pillar with a 3-inch pad. It's time for the hybrid. Let's get into this top channel and get tight to the rail on the bottom channel. After a wipe down with the IPA, you'll see this is very hazy and it's taken quite a hit with the cut, and as a result needs a lot of refining. This is yet to be, I'm not happy with that still, so that's going to be done again, either with a stronger combination in the first place or the same combination just multiple times over. As it was the first test with the hybrid, it's always good to sort of start with a lower, softer, milder approach as opposed to going guns blazing. But overall, the roof has come up well. The edges need refining, the whole thing needs refining. But if that combination can tackle the rest of the car, we're happy days. calling it there for the end of the first day. Pretty good progress. Bonnet cut, roof cut with the A to D pillar, C pillar, whatever you want to call it, with this little channel, and the top of the tailgate. One or two areas might end up being cut once again, some very slight marks left. Obviously this is the before condition. Let's try and find the mark. Keep trying, keep trying, keep trying, keep trying. Oh, almost. There, that'll do. This is the length of sort of where we're at now. So this has been cut twice with a big pad and the 3-inch pad down the sides and the perimeter. But overall, we're looking for 95% plus correction, really. So far so good. There's still a lot to tackle. I'm calling it there. It's just approaching 6 o'clock. Reason for the escape early-ish, is I've got a ton of media to edit from Goodwood, from the trip to the Festival of Speed. Came home with 60 gigabytes plus of data, drone footage, Osmo footage, Canon footage, iPhone footage. So to try and dictate a story and to get it into place, I'm gonna have a couple of hours tonight, a couple of hours tomorrow night, and then the vlog for this will be Saturday night's Sunday's job. No rest of the wicked. See you tomorrow. Making life easier to polish the exhaust tips, the removal process. However, we discover lots of overspray. This is perhaps when the rear bumper's been painted. Nice job with masking off there, so do what we can to fix and remove. A little bit of eye-bridgery inside the vents there on the wing. First of all, with a cut down section of, with a piece of cut down microfiber, and now I'll jump onto the yellow roots pad to give it some light refinish. Whilst the hybrid is still out, wheel caps, the centre caps. The wheels are a bit hazy. Gloss black always going to show defects. So buzz over these, they go back on the car. It is so easy in this job to not want to pick up the camera. It's easy to just get your head down and get stuck in. The polishing complete, the refinement has been made. The paintwork has been wiped down with alcohol to remove and strip polishing oils. Ensuring a squeaky clean base now ready for paint protection, multi-layer paint protection to be applied first thing in the morning. A couple of touch-ups have been made. You've seen already by now the bad bits sort of on the edge of the bonnet. It was here somewhere, and then on the edge of the door there's another bad one just above my finger. Taking the edge off, not perfect, but certainly enough to hide for the purpose of the job. There's one there as well. Really pleased with the progress. It's coming up well. I've still got the full interior, the engine bay, glass, paint protection, plenty to get stuck into. It's pretty hot and sticky and clammy, and I'll be back in tomorrow. Back end of the week, and the Aston is piecing together well. The first of 2 paint protection systems have been applied, and while I have my gloves on and the vehicle is at a height, I'm going to tackle the exhaust box. A little time later. 2 clean, shiny back boxes, fitted, refitted, reinstalled, put back into place, back on. The chrome tips, having had the cleanse off the car, also wearing ceramic protection, the same protection as the wheels, piecing together nicely, and it's about lunchtime. Underside of the bonnet and the boot has been polished, and now it's just a case of running the perimeter in the jambs, edge the doors, underneath the doors. Fast forward a day and a half, I haven't really had the camera much, I haven't picked it up. It's just been one of them hot, muddy, sticky, get your head down, not want to get the job finished, but you're just so involved in the job that it's difficult to take a break, which is a shame, because actually I'm telling people at the Goodwood Festival of Speed that if you question yourself that sort of no one will ever see me doing these areas, they're so minute and so detailed, that is it worth doing them? That's the sort of thing you should be picking the camera up to show off. And I've had several of them on this vehicle, and I've not been in the sort of, I've just been wanting to get through the job as efficiently as I can. Obviously the camera is great and it allows for better content and it makes a better story, but sometimes it makes life pretty difficult. So kicking things off, I'm going back to Goodwood. Great to meet a few people. I think I said on Instagram earlier in the week that, well, thank you to those that actually stopped to say hi. There were, I think, 11 or 12 people doing so, and I had 4 selfies taken, which is awesome. Great to put a few faces to names, just obviously we all hide behind a keyboard. We've got usernames, we've got accounts and different profiles, and it's actually great to meet people in person and have a chat. I am actually looking forward to WhiteDetails, the detailing show, which is on the 23rd of this month at Coventry, at the Rico Arena. Whilst at Goodwood, I was able to bump into the guys at OCD Finish, Neil and Joe. Joe actually messaged me on Instagram and said it'll be great for you to call in and say hello. We've got a few products in the range, in the line that might be of interest. I actually left OCD Finish with a few of their products, and I've been testing today. This is their glass cleaner, 2020 glass cleaner, and their panel wipe cleanse. Get on well with both. So I'll certainly be using the OCD Finish range more in the near future. I've also come away with Velocity and their Carnauba Wax Divergence. In the back of my mind, I realise my own car, the 3 Series Touring, is desperate for some tender love and care. So I really ought to pencil in a Saturday or a Sunday in the diary to be able to actually wash it, strip it, decontaminate it, get the tar off the side of it. It probably goes 8 weeks without a wash, which is a terrible example, I realise. OCD Finish, guys, pleasure to meet you. Thanks for being accommodating, and thanks for showing me your range. So recapping and finalising things on the Aston Martin. 6,000 miles on the clock, 6,000 kilometres on the clock. It's very much a collector's iconic beauty, let's say. The vehicle literally leaves looking like it has just rolled off. Excuse me. completely forgot what I was saying. In for the white detail, the full major paint correction, which after the full safe wash and decontamination, stripping the vehicle surface of any contamination or tar or unsightly bonded bits on the paint and the glass and the wheels and the trim. It's received a multi-stage machine polish aiming to correct up to 95% or more than 95% defect removal from the vehicle. So your swirls, the hazing, the abrasions, the scratches, the holograms, buffer trails, overspray. We virtually found sort of all 6, 7 of these on the cars and working around it. So the paintwork, it's pure, it's crisp, it's pure clarity, it's Pentland green in colour, and it looks beautiful. I'm really looking forward to walking around with the camera now, and hopefully on collection day, which is tomorrow when it's going back overseas, it will be a nice vivid sunny day, because these cars so far, there's not been one recently I've been able to get in the sun to show it off fully. With the paint polishing complete, it's on to the wheels. The wheels come off the vehicle to be sorted inside and out, as well as ceramic protection, is with the exhaust tips as well, the exhaust box. You probably saw me polishing that up earlier on. Onto the engine bay, cleansed, dressed, protected and polished. The underside of the bonnet, the exposed paintwork around the bonnet edge and the jambs, around the boot, the door sills and the door shuts, the undersides of the door, hand cleansed, hand polished and protected. Full interior treatments, leather protection, fabric protection, glass inside and out. It really does look well, and as though it literally has just rolled off the production line at Newport Pagnell in 1999, which makes it 19 years old. So I must wrap up there, time is getting on. Thank you again for the support and the continued messages and feedback. If you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel to get the latest and greatest. Give the video a thumbs up down below, and until next time, take care and I'll see you soon. Almost forgot. Autofocus, manual focus. I've been sent these, sent in from Canada, from a Daniel Sapani from the Detail Guards company. Daniel, thank you for sending these through. Love the idea. Seen something similar before, the idea being, outside, if you're washing the vehicle, you've got your pressure washer lance, you've got the hose pipe potentially, all of which you need to be able to control and make sure there's no coiling, they're not sprung loaded. They've got a mind of their own sometimes, and it's very, very easy and very frustrating and dangerous for them to slap against the vehicle's paintwork. And of course, they all get trapped between the floor and the wheel if you're trying to drag it around the perimeter of the car. I myself here, I'm actually quite lucky in that I've got plenty of space to be able to, I'm always very mindful of this potential danger, and I'm able to walk around the perimeter away from the car, to walk past the car to make sure it's a long line before I walk around the side of the car without the fear of it coiling over and slapping into the car. But anyway, these certainly have their place. I've seen something before, never with this little spindle on the side. Idea being, tucked underneath each 4 corners of the wheel on the outer edge of the wheels, just so that if you do have your lance or your pressure washer hose to the one side, it will slide, it will retract on the spindle, and you'll be able to work around the car effortlessly, and you'll be able to work around the car effortlessly. Christ. And you'll be able to walk around the car easily with the lance and the hose without fear of it getting trapped, and it's just frustrating. I'll keep using them, I'll give them another go. As I say, it's not really a danger for me. I'm always conscious and mindful of this potential issue, and the hose really doesn't get that close to the car or the lance in the first place. But if you're close quarters, you haven't got a great deal of walking space, moving space on someone's driveway or your own vehicle at home, if you want to tap these onto the wheels, hard wearing, nice quality finish. It's a real slim piece here, which allows you to tuck it underneath the rubber, sits in the corner of the tyre, and then prevents the hose and the cabling getting all snagged and snarled up. Daniel, I had your business card here somewhere. I think I captured it earlier in the week. I'll flash it up now, and your information. Links to these if you want to go check them out and have a look. I haven't got the price here in front of me, but I'll flash it on the screen. There is a link down below in the description to the video, as well as everything else I tend to use and frequently talk about. Anyway, I'm done. Goodbye. As we say goodbye to one classic 90s iconic legend, we say hello to another.